of the sisters in the same gathering asked a question. She said, Agha, we have heard from our ancestors that only that person who goes to the ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn who has been personally chosen and invited by Imam al-Husayn. And indeed, it's a great honor, and it should not be underestimated. But in his jolly way of replying, he understood what the sister had meant. That he wanted her to be educated even further. And he wanted the ziyarah to be worth more than just an invitation and thinking that I'm someone special because Imam has invited me and chosen me. Indeed, it's a very special thing. And indeed, nothing in this world works without the Mashi'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they are the executors of the Mashi'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he started answering back to the lady because she said that, look, have I come here because I'm a VIP. I've been specially chosen and invited by Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. So her intent, this was an Indo-Pak community that we were there. So he is aware of the situation there. So he started by saying this. He said, who is greater, Imam al-Husayn or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, everybody replied, Allah. He said, Allah 5 times a day for the whole of your life calls everybody, 1.6 billion Muslims, Hayya ala khair al-amal, Hayya ala salah. Allah is personally inviting each and every one of us to go for salah. The people who replied back to the call of Allah were Imam al-Husayn as well as the other side. Yeah, Umar ibn Sa'ad also prayed Salat al-Dhuhr and Salat al-Asr on the day of Ashura. He led his army in Salat al-Jama'ah. So does that make somebody, even if Allah, the creator of Imam al-Husayn, is inviting you to salah, does that make, and he's giving you a personal invitation 5 times a day, somebody is calling you, inviting you to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it is a meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we pray salah. Does that make me special? He said, look, you were going for ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn, but there was also one individual who also went for the ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn, and that was Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Agha then said that, look, do not look at the golden dome and the golden shrine and the golden doors and be fooled that this has just happened like this. He said, remember that underneath that soil, 6 feet under the ground, many feet below the shrine, your Imam is wrapped in a chatai, in a sack. Because when Imam Zainul Abidin came to bury him, he could not pick his body because it was trampled upon. And so he asked for a chatai. What do you call a chatai in English? A mat made out of the leaves of date trees. And Imam al-Husayn's body was wrapped in that. He said, when you, Imam, remember, but Husayn, even though he is cut into pieces, Husayn has not changed. When Hur came to Imam al-Husayn, having tied his hands behind him, and he says, oh Imam, is there a way to my forgiveness? Husayn has not changed. But are you going as Hur? He said, the merit, it is a merit to go to the ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn. But the merit is not in catching a 300-pound flight and reaching Imam al-Husayn. Anybody can spend 300 pounds and go to the ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn. He said the true merit is when you return back to Leicester, and now when the mu'mineen come and embrace you and they congratulate you on your ziyarah and they start mingling and living with you, they notice a change in you. And when they come and ask you, Hassanain, what's changed in you? You turn around to them and say, Husayn changed. That is the merit. He said, you have an opportunity. He says, you have been invited. You have a golden opportunity right now. Go back to Karbala and stand in front of the mausoleum of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam and say, oh Allah, I bear witness that I have committed fulan sin and that sin and this sin and that sin, and oh Allah, I know tomorrow I will have to stand in front of you and in front of this Imam. Because what do we recite in Ziyarat Kamila? We say, وَحِسَابُ الْخَلْقِ عَلَيْكُمْ. You will be the ones who will ask me the questions on the day of judgment. I have to stand in front of you, O Allah, and in front of this Imam and account for my deeds. O Allah, before my death, this is him saying, O Allah, before my death, for the sake of this Imam, I accept that I made these sins. I'm not arrogant to say I have not made these sins. But O Allah, for the sake of Husayn, forgive me. He said, go like Hur and return back to your town like Hur. And that is the merit during the ziyarah of Imam. That is truly having done the ziyarah of Imam Husayn, where it changes your life. It induces change in your life. As we have 2-3 minutes, there was 3 and 4 questions as well. The conversation then went on to talk about Imam al-Zamana and what have you. And very briefly, he said, look, we need to be sincere. And again, it ties in with the question that we've just dealt with. When we ask for forgiveness, we need to be sincere. When we pray for the reappearance of Imam al-Zamana alayhi salatu wasalam, he said we need to be sincere in what we say. Because are we just ratnu? Are we just paying lip service? Al-ajal, ya mawla, ya sahib al-zaman? Or is there any meaning, is there any substance in what we are saying? He said, I ask you by Allah, is it harder to grow a few pieces of hair on your cheek, or is it harder to give your head to Imam Zaman? What is harder? Is it harder to put a piece of cloth on your head, or is it harder to give your child for Imam Zaman? Is it harder to stop listening to a few words of poetry with some tunes on them, or is it harder to give your hand or leg for your Imam, or your eye for Imam? He said, be sincere. Ask yourself the question. Today I'm saying, oh Imam, reappear, oh Imam, reappear, oh Imam, reappear. I'm not willing to sacrifice a few pieces of hair for Imam. I'm not willing to put a piece of cloth on my head in the love of Imam. I'm not willing to pray salah on time, or even pray salah in the love for the Imam, who all the Imams offered their sacrifice to uphold this salah. Am I truly asking for Imam to reappear? Am I truly ready to sacrifice myself for Imam if that time ever comes? Nobody has asked us at the moment. Nobody has asked us to sacrifice a fingernail even. Nobody has asked us. But yet we're not even prepared to offer any form of sacrifice. So he said, let's introduce sincerity in the words that we say. And the final thing that we talked about khums. And he said, look, we lament and we cry that in Sham-e Ghariba, Shimr Mal'oon with his spear pulled the rida of Lady Zainab Salamullah. He pulled the earrings from the ears of Lady Sakina Salamullah. In essence, what did they do? They usurped the rights of the Ahl al-Bayt. This was the property of the Ahl al-Bayt that they usurped. He said, by not paying khums, are you and Shimr not equal in your actions? The khums is the right of the Ahl al-Bayt. 50% of it is the right of the Ahl al-Bayt. It's their property now. It might be in your bank account. You might think it's your money. You might fool yourselves and think, no, I've had no budget. I've had no savings this year. I'm not due any khums. But you can't fool Allah. It might be sitting in my bank account, but it is already the property of the Ahl al-Bayt. And if I'm keeping it in my bank account, if I'm holding back on it, then am I not equal in action to Shimr? The only difference is time frame. He was 14 centuries ago. I'm in 2017. What's to say if this is how protective I am of my wealth, that is the right of in which there is the right of the Ahl al-Bayt? What is to say if I was amongst the army of Yazid on the day of Ashura, I would not have done the same. And so his point to us was, by usurping the right of the Ahl al-Bayt, we are engaging in the same action that Shimr and all those other perpetrators of the heinous crime on the night in Sham-e Ghariba. Now, a question which arises, which is, okay, what do the Ahl al-Bayt have to gain with this khums money? And the answer is a very beautiful one and needs a detailed discussion. But all you have to do is have a look at some of the sacrifices that the Sadat have offered over the years. If you look at some of the greatest of ulama, people who have been butchered, whose families have been butchered, who have not been allowed to live in peace, their businesses have been taken away, their wealth has been usurped. Those are the people who deserve that 50% of the cost. And because sometimes we cannot see who is deserving and who is not deserving, therefore we start thinking actually nobody in this world is poor, they don't need any help, they don't need any money. But the ayatullahs, the maraja themselves, these people come to them. And also they have lived in those cities for 50, 60 years. They know which Sayyid family is doing what work. They know who is in need. And even they will not be able to help everybody out. They're not ma'soom at the end of the day. They will make mistakes. But at least we have some sort of leverage by paying the khums to them. And so inshallah, these are the 3 or 4 questions that I was present in the house of Agha, and these were discussed, and I hope inshallah we all benefit from those. Finally, let us pray for all the mu'mineen and mu'minat with this all-encompassing dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma adkhal ala ahli al-qubur al-surur. Allahumma aghni kulla faqir. Allahumma ashbi' kulla ja'i'. Allahumma aksu kulla uryan. Allahumma qdi dayna kulli madin. Allahumma farrij an kulli makrub. Allahumma rudda kulla gharib. Allahumma fukka kulla asir. Allahumma aslih kulla fasidan min umur al-muslimin. Allahumma ashfi kulla marid. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير.
Ya Hazrat